A government that mistreats its citizens is much more dangerous than the coronavirus could ever be. This is the story of the resistance. This is what really happened in Washington. Welcome back to the Daily Dose with your favorite queer person of color, me, Elijah Schaefer. Today's story is absolutely necessary because the mainstream media is working overtime to twist the narrative about the resistance rallies that are taking place all around the state. But before we go any further, please check that you are subscribed. The YouTube algorithms as well as Facebook algorithms work heavily against videos like this, anybody that tells the truth. So by you sharing our reports and subscribing, it really helps us out a lot. Thank you so much again for all the support that you guys give us time and time again. Anyway, let's jump right into this. So I decided to go up to Washington state after receiving a call from a concerned citizen who told me that the shutdown in her state had gotten so severe that the Governor Jay Inslee, a Democrat, actually banned fishing. So yes, you can go to a grocery store and be within a few feet of another patron, but God forbid you actually catch your own food. And I heard that there was a resistance that was going on. Of course, the media said a couple hundred were going to be gathering, but she said that those were all lies and I needed to get up there really quickly. Now, as we jump into this, I want to let you know that I got on the plane. And if you want to know how serious this shutdown is affecting industries economically, just look at what this aircraft looked like. It's empty. What's even more weird is that they won't give you a free upgrade into first class, even though nobody's up there. And it wouldn't even matter going into first class because they aren't even serving food on the planes anymore, let alone actually serving beverages. They give you a little baggie with a hand sanitizer, which is actually worth its weight in gold. And then on top of that, they give you a little water bottle and some Cheez-Its all together tucked away. So service is completely gone on the airplane. That's not really that important. But look at this. Check this out. I was in the airport. That's a picture of me, of course, your favorite gay black woman. I love that. Check out this clip right here.
I feel like I'm in North Korea. So when you look at the terminal, there's literally not a single person here. And I'm boarding my flight. That's Todd, my producer right there. Yep, that's Todd, the producer. But it's like we're in North Korea.
All right, so essentially speaking, the entire industry of airline travel is pretty much on hold. That is tons and tons of jobs. So this is serious. But I didn't want to look at the country as a whole. I wanted to visit a state and find out why people were so angry. Were these science-denying, anti-social distancing, dangerous people like the media puts them to be? Or are these really just hardworking Americans who are tired of their rights being stepped on and want to get back to work? Well, this is going to say it all. I arrived at the rally and I was expecting, like I said, 200 people. But if you look at this picture right here, does that look like 200 people to you? No. In fact, that was just a portion of the rally. And that was 20 minutes before it even officially started. Some estimates have by an independent fact-checking group, Enterprise, actually figured out that there were about 4,500 people in attendance. But it didn't take very long for the media to claim that there were 200 to 300 even after the remarks. My answer to the mainstream media is, don't believe your headlines. I don't. Why even believe your own headlines? Why don't you just believe your eyes? Why do you continue to lie to the American people to push a narrative that just isn't true? Why do you want to make these people to seem like they're crazy? Why do you hate Americans so much? Well, the answer comes into it. Because when I arrived, check this out. This is another video of right when I arrived. People were chanting, what? Hatred? No. They were chanting white supremacist remarks? No. They were chanting this.
Right outside the Capitol building here in Washington, hundreds, if not well over a couple thousand patriots have already begun gathering, basically to protest the tyranny of the shutdown and the stay-at-home orders. Look at how strong the support is amongst the people here in Washington state right now. In Olympia, outside of the building, it's not even begun. It doesn't start until 1 o'clock, and it's already looking like a pretty big turnout so far. So take that, all you tyrannical governors.
So I was there, and to my surprise, of course, just kidding, I'm not surprised at all, the media was failing to cover this event. Of course, if you have 45 people resist Trump in a local women's march, you'll have the whole onslaught of local news crews and people covering. But who wants to cover something that might actually help the American people and push us forward? Obviously not the media. And if I sound pissed off, and you go, why are you mad? Well, hell yeah, I'm pissed off. I'm mad that somebody who runs an entertainment show is doing a better job at journalism on the streets than the journalists themselves. That's why when people ask me, are you a journalist? I say, unfortunately, I am a journalist because the standards have gotten so low. And just by me going and recording, I've become a journalist, and so are you. In fact, most citizens are better journalists than the journalists themselves. A counter rally even began to form outside, not a counter rally to it, but just an additional portion. Check out the size of the crowd here, even well into the event after it basically had ended. Look how many people still had remained here.
The state police hear you! We're taking our state back in 2 weeks, if not today. There are a few people criticized me that I was so patient I gave them 2 weeks. By all means, you want to go fishing today or tomorrow, by all means do so. I was trying to be kind, that's all. We should have took back our state 3 or 4 weeks ago.
And damn right, you should have taken your state back a few weeks ago. Here's the deal, guys. Before I go any further, I want to let you know this. I am not an anti-science, anti-social distancing hypocrite. My background is in science and molecular biology. I have a degree in science. I've worked in the lab for multiple years. Actually, my focus in a lot of my upper division units were focusing in virology and pathology and immunology. This is the stuff that I studied. I'm not against governments and people taking steps to prevent something from spreading. In fact, I love the Asians and the fact that they love to put on masks and protect themselves or prevent their own diseases from spreading. I also believe that social distancing to some extent can be helpful, especially if you're at high risk. But violating the Constitution and forcing people to not be able to feed their families and pay their rent while they operate or work at legal businesses is not only beyond the limits and the reaches of the government in this country, but it's beyond the limits and the reaches of human rights. What we're looking at today is human rights abuses by micro-tyrants in their various states and counties, lustful and greedy on the power trip that they continue to do and spread on the people. You think that you're helping a virus by banning fishing? Yes, you do think that you're doing that. No, you don't think you're doing that. Make up your mind. Are you helping or are you hurting the people? Because at this point, I think that you guys are all just crazy. And to make matters worse, to put into perspective, they lied about this. You know, this girl, Lady Gaga, the queen of Satanism. I hate this woman so much. There was this campaign on TV that was called Global Citizen that was reminding us to smile and be compassionate towards one another during these times. Do you know that using the Rolling Stones and Billie Eilish and Lady Gaga and all these celebrities, they aired this show on live streaming. They also aired it on 3 networks, and they only got 14 million views. That's about 4.5 million views per network, but it was actually even less than that. Some of the live streams only had 800 views on them. And of course, this fundraiser for the World Health Organization not only held these people and told us all that they were raising money, but they didn't raise any money. They had corporate donations of $128 million. It turned out this was a total flop, but it was promoted as being what was going to help us in our times. Really? Lady Gaga on a screen raising money for the World Health Organization is what a woman needs in Washington state who cannot feed her children. And that's what we're going to get into right now. The real stories and what changed the direction in my mind was talking to people who are directly affected by this. I know more people affected by the shutdown than I do affected by the coronavirus itself. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. You're going to tell me that I need more smiles and compassion. No, Lady Gaga. The people of this country need money in their bank accounts. They need to earn that money. They need food on their tables. They need their rent paid, their electricity bills paid. They don't need smiles. They don't need your damn compassion. They need to be able to get back to work. So get off your piano, shut the hell up, and let America be America and do what it does best. And so this is what they said. They want to get back to work. Watch this video clip.
We're also here with another very simple message. Governor, let us go back to work. You have to do nothing, Governor. You have to do nothing except unshackle us. Unchain us and let us create. Let us innovate. Let us find the solutions. You are too inept to create yourself.
You hear that? They said, let us go back to work. Unshackle us. Unchain us. We, the American people. And if you think I'm biased, I am well biased into this. Damn right I am. You ask me if I'm biased towards Americans being able to feed themselves? Oh, don't you just want the virus to spread, people tell me. One person even told me, I hope you choke on your own fluids and die of the virus. People are telling me this. Do you know there's a huge difference between people who are ignorant of the severity of what a virus is versus people who realize there's no point to live if they can't earn a living? Do you realize when there's no provable facts that people working non-essential businesses or not being able to work at these non-essential businesses is really helping? The truth of the matter is that practicing safe social distancing has gone to the point where we are living in a place where my brother-in-law, who lives in Australia, is not even allowed to see his wife because of the training program that she's in. And he's pissed. They live within 10 minutes of each other, and he can't even go visit her for a month because of social distancing. Do you think that that is helping our country, their country, the West, the world? No, it's not. And the truth is unshackle us is not saying government bail us out, government decide. It's saying government, you don't know what's best for us. You don't know what we need. You don't understand how we live our lives. Because everybody who criticizes these patriots who want to work and call them dangerous, you know what I have to say? You probably still have a job. Or, hey, Karen, while you're at work or busy driving around snitching on people for violating social distancing, typing away on Facebook how everybody's a danger to your family while your husband still has a job, people are unable to eat. But it gets it more important. Just today, coronavirus-related unemployment claims take down the registration site in Washington state. It says here that Washington's anxious to apply for unemployment benefits should just wait it out, a state official said, after the website for coronavirus job loss benefits became overloaded within minutes of opening on Saturday, April 18th at 8 p.m. While people are hungry, the state's response is, wait it out. Well, why don't you get the F out of your office because you don't deserve to be there? While you sit back and continue to collect taxpayer dollars, people are starving. While you continue to sit back and collect taxpayer dollars and tell us how to live our lives, people aren't actually able to live theirs. While you say that you're saving us from a virus that we don't even know the severity of, that the experts have been wrong about, while still important that we take precautions, you have continued to mislead our states in a direction. You should be fired. But more importantly, I'd end up talking to this one gentleman right here, a young man who was put in a position where he just lost his job 3 weeks ago. Not 3 weeks ago. He was 3 weeks into his job. He's lost it longer than that. Listen to what he says. Listen to what he says. This is so important, and you got to pay attention to this one.
All right, so you said that you lost your job because of this. Can you explain a little bit about how you've been affected by the shutdown, and what are your thoughts about wanting to go back to work?
My thoughts is I definitely want to go back to work as soon as possible. I don't want to wait till May 4th. No, I want to go right now. I missed my job. I had a good work crew, and I was working for a great company. And then they sent me home because of the coronavirus. No, I want to go back to work right now. Not May 4th, not May 18th, not next year, now.
How are you able to pay your bills, or how are you getting by financially by losing your paychecks as an iron worker?
Praise be to God, my grandparents been helping me a lot. But I don't want to rely on them anymore because I should be relying on myself, not other people. That's how I was raised. I was raised to work, not to rely on others.
Awesome. Thank you.
You hear that? I was raised to work, not to rely on others. These are not dangerous people. These are people who fear for the safety of their future, who don't want to fall into bankruptcy. This young man is starting his life out. Not only that, I talked to another young woman who said that her entire school shut down, which means that her life shut down for another year. She was going to school in cosmetology, and of course, she's not able to go to school in cosmetology. You can't do online courses in haircuts. I mean, you could. I'm sure they do it in North Korea. Look at how bad those ones are. But I don't think that she's able to. And bringing it around the fact is that when you delay this, you're delaying people's liberties. And not only delaying liberties, you're stepping on the Constitution of the United States of America. This man wants to work. What is wrong with a person welding iron? Why can't he weld iron? Maybe because, of course, somebody, a bureaucrat in office, thinks that while he's there in his nicely ironed custom suits, this young man, a hardworking blue-collar American, he doesn't know best for his own life, right? Trust the government. We know better. But when you come down to it, I looked at this and you go, unemployment is skyrocketing. This from March 2020 here from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics shows that your total non-farm payroll employment fell by 701,000 in March, and the unemployment rate rose to 4.4%, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported today. The changes in these measures reflect the effects of the coronavirus and efforts to contain it. Employment in leisure and hospitality fell by 459,000. Mainly in food services and drinking places. Notably, declines also occurred in healthcare and social assistance, professional and business services, retail, trade, and construction. And if you see right here in this graph, it spikes from like 3.5% to almost 4.5%. I mean, we are going up in the millions and millions of unemployed. And this isn't a joke. The coronavirus isn't a joke, but those who have acted this way in response to it, well, you are. But when it comes down to it, I want to bring up the fact that the tyranny doesn't go much even, I guess it doesn't even scratch the surface. Look at what some other states are doing. In Washington, in New Jersey, they're violating the Fourth Amendment, just stepping on it, which says that you shall not be subdued to any illegal search and seizure. Search and seizure. Not by man, not by internet search, and yes, even by drone. Watch as MSNBC totally cucks out for the police and tries to show, oh, look, they're just trying to keep people safe. Look at how sick these governors and mayors have gone. Just watch how creepy this is.
Mayors need to be creative. We have to figure out a way to get to people that police cars can't get to.
Elizabeth City Police shot this video for us to show us how drones work. The drones make it easier for police to see into certain areas where access by patrol cars is more difficult. That includes tight spaces between buildings, behind schools, and in backyards. Failure to comply could lead to a summons or a $1,000 fine. You think the drones watching over people is a good idea or a bad idea?
I think at this point, it's worth a try.
It's just an invasion of your privacy.
The mayor's heard it all.
My answer to those people are, if these drones save one life, it is clearly worth the activity and the information that the drones are sending.
The drones donated by DJI, a Chinese company, have gone to 43 agencies in 22 states.
Okay, I can't listen to this anymore. Our police officers are taking donations from Chinese companies and learning from China on how to monitor its people? Do you see how backwards this is? A virus created by the Chinese government inside of a lab in Wuhan that is somehow leaked, who knows how or why, these same agencies who spread to you, don't wear masks, now wear masks, now people are going to die, now less people are going to die, now it came from bats, no, it didn't came from bats, are now using this to take a hold of the moment to expand their ability to step on your rights. And we can't allow them. People say, well, what are you doing in your studio? Believe me, I'm looking into a lawsuit right here just in Los Angeles. And I think it's about time the American people form a class action lawsuit against these governors for violating and committing high crimes against the people of the United States by violating their constitutional rights. And I firmly believe that if you open up your store and you continue to operate, even if you get fined, you can take it to the court. I have been violating the stay-at-home orders. I have been violating unnecessary mandatory masks. No, I'm not stupid. Yes, I wash my hands. I'm very understanding and aware of people's fears, and I keep my distance. I do cough inside of my shirt or sneeze inside my, my arm. I do what a normal person would do. But no, I'm not going to do something that you told me to do because it's for my safety, when you can either prove that that's true, nor can you prove that it's worth giving up my rights just to make me safe. Because those who will give up their rights to be safe deserve neither. But people outside in Washington that didn't want to violate the social distancing rules and laws gridlocked the streets around and were in their cars with support. Watch some of this, just a few seconds of these cars, just hundreds, if not thousands of cars supporting.
So while many people are protesting here in the large crowds, at least a couple thousand people have been in attendance, there's a lot more who are continuing to gridlock the roads around the Capitol building, and they're actually socially, safely distancing from the main protest, but supporting driving by.
Yeah, you heard it here. Even if you don't want to violate the social distancing orders, you might still want to work. I don't know. Maybe you would want to operate your business in a way that followed decent guidelines, but you weren't willing to give up your actual job, because what's the point of trying to follow guidelines if your life is destroyed in the process? And that's the purpose. But of course, you've got to leave it up to the Associated Press and there are many photographers at Getty to use this image to show the protest. Now, there were 4,500 people suggested that were there. There was one man with a combination of a Confederate Southern flag. It's not even the Confederate flag, by the way. It's not actually it. I've been told many times it's a different kind of flag with the "Don't Tread on Me." And they use this image to capture the event. And they purposely get Trump's head in this. They want you to think that these people are a bunch of racists, when really it was one of the most diverse crowds possible. Plus, Washington Olympia isn't exactly the most diverse place. So it's like saying, well, most people in attendance were white. Yeah, but most people who live there are white. So what do you want to say? All of a sudden, every one black person that exists was going to go to that? Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, statistically speaking, I saw all types of demographics and people and children and orientations, etc. And you know what? Because there's something crazy about money. Everybody likes to make it, regardless of what your beliefs are. But I guess the governors don't get it. They're too busy making it look like everybody there is a racist. But I'm not going to get into this next one. I was going to show you this other clip, but I realized it's banned on social media. It didn't take very long for them to start spreading lies that they were bringing old pictures of lefties who brought German war propaganda, aka that little sign that you're not even allowed to say anymore for some reason. And they brought it to rallies, and people were spreading basically that there were like fascists at these rallies, when there weren't. There weren't. These are not fascist rallies. This is the opposite. These are anti-fascist rallies. But if they wanted to take a picture of anyone, why not show this guy? By the way, this is a good point of notice. Follow me on Instagram at @officialslightlyoffensive, or follow me on Twitter at Elijah Schaefer, and you can get all my updates as they come. And letting you guys know too that the street portion, like the actual production street video, there's a real good one, and it's coming out tomorrow, April, what day is it? I don't know what day is it. Oh, April 21st. So it's coming out April 21st in the morning. It's coming out a few hours earlier on blazetv.com/slightlyoffensive. You can use the code Elijah to